Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I'm Chris. Want to help your legs move and feel better? Foam roll and stretch for legs is exactly that. As a starting point to get us going, we will spend a short time on the upper back and the glutes. Next, we'll focus on those legs, making sure to roll and stretch the fronts, backs, and the sides. You will need 2 yoga blocks and a foam roller. So let's get started. We're going to actually do a quick roll of the upper back, and then we'll jump into the legs. So we're going to roller across the mat, lean back onto the shoulder blades, and bring your fingertips behind your ears, nice and wide, elbows wide. We're not interlacing because we don't want to crank forward onto the neck. So you're going to have I want you to adjust the roller to about the mid-shoulder blades, level with the chest wall. From the front, feet flat on the floor, knees bent. First, just leaning back, checking in, see how your upper back feels. And then you're going to lift your hips and gently roll to the top of the shoulder blades and to the bottom. Just to get a little chiropractic natural adjustment or loosen things up in that upper back. It's all connected, so we just have to get a little bit looser up here. One more roll, and then find the middle of your shoulder blades, and then lower the hips. And you're going to keep the elbows wide and gently drop the knees side to side. Just drop those knees. Feel the stretch through the torso, the chest wall, depending on which side you're tighter on. One more drop each side. And then we'll bring the knees to center. Good. Walk the feet in a little closer to your hips. Good. Now you're going to draw your whole body to the left armpit, shoulder, and then you can take your top right foot, place it on the floor, and use it for leverage to roll yourself gently up and down just in the back of that shoulder blade. And then lower the hips. And then we're going to roll all the way to the right side. Bring your right elbow behind the roller, left foot on the floor, and use it for leverage just to roll yourself up and down about an inch. Your hips can stay on the floor or they can come off depending on what feels okay to you. We're not going really low, just right in that shoulder blade. And then lower the hips, rolling back to center. Open up that chest one more time. Feel the body curving over the roller. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale out, bring your head up, bring your forearms to the roller, and then sit all the way up. Quick and easy, shoulder rolls, a little bit looser. Now the main part, we're gonna go into glutes and legs. It's all connected. So we're gonna lift ourselves up, come up onto the roller. We're gonna start with the left side. I always like to keep the right side for later. Lean onto that left hand, and lean onto that left glute, and let's roll to the top and the bottom of that glute. So we loosened up a little bit of the upper back, and now we're going to get into the glutes, and then we'll really get into those legs. The tissue of the leg, front, side, back, middle, all attach up into the hips and those glutes and affect a rotation. So again, there's a reason I go in the order I do sometimes. One more roll all the way up and down. Now we're going to get a little deeper into those glutes. Taking that left leg, the side you're leaning on, pick that leg up and cross the ankle over the thigh. If your knee doesn't bend that way or your hip and something doesn't feel right, you can always hold underneath the thigh and just pull that knee into the chest as you roll. So that's another option. We're going to roll backwards so the roller goes down all the way to the sits bones. Maybe you're on your fingertips, maybe your knuckles, maybe you're flat on your palm. You can always use a yoga block if you are having an issue reaching that arm all the way to the floor, or with your wrists. Now I want you to roll onto those sits bones just slightly all the way down to the bottom of that glute and rock the hips side to side. If it's very intense, you don't have to do a bunch of them, just do a couple. Slide your body forward about an inch. towards, and then the roller moves up the back of the glute there. Rock your hips again, side to side. Roll your body forward again. Roller moves up the glutes. Rock those hips side to side. We're going to continue doing that till we get towards the top of the glutes. Roll it up and rock side to side. And then one more time, slide your body backwards and forwards as you roll that whole glute. One more. We're going to release, and we're just going to go straight to the right side. So you're leaning onto the right glute, and you're going to roll to the top and the bottom of that glute. Feet flat on the floor, knees bent. Notice the difference on this side compared to the other side. All the way to the top and the bottom. Not super fast, not really, really slow. Whatever feels, find that sweet spot for you on speed or tempo. Now we're going to find the middle of that glute, cross your right ankle over the left thigh, open the knee, and let's roll again. So your option here again, if that foot does not cross, you can always just hug the knee in, or even bend it closer and keep it close, bend the knee and keep the foot on the floor closer to the roller. So you got lots of options. One more roll. Now you're going to slide your body backwards so the roller goes towards the sits bones. And then you're going to rock yourself side to side. That can be a little tender sometimes. And then roll your body forward about an inch. And then rock it side to side so the roller is slowly moving up the back of that glute. And again, forward and rock side to side. And a little more forward. Rock it side to side. Roller moving up towards the back edge, top of that glute. Once you get there, you're going to roll again, forward and back. The whole length of that glute. One more. Now you're going to slowly release. We're going to slide off the front of the roller. Very important to stretch out that glute afterwards. So start with your left leg. You're going to pull the left knee into the chest and then bring that left foot to the outside of the right thigh. Hug the knee in and give it a nice twist. Now, if you can, if it feels comfortable to you, I'm going to give you another option. Your right leg, you can lean to the right, bend the knee, and pull the right foot towards your left glute. That's an option. And you're really hugging in that left knee. Turn this way. So you would be here, and then the left hand behind you with a nice little twist. If that does not feel comfortable, or you're up here, or that knee doesn't go down, you can always stay with the leg straight. I want you to feel that glute stretch and that hip. Lengthen through the spine and breathe. One more breath. And then we're going to slowly release. And now you're going to go to the other side. So you're going to straighten out the left, hug your right knee into the chest, and you're going to bring it to the outside edge of your left leg. Just hug it in. Now remember, if this is comfortable, then stay here. If you can always lean over to the left, pull your left foot towards the right glute and give it a hug. Give your right knee a hug. Right hand can be behind you to hold you up, kickstand. Just feel that nice stretch. So after we foam roll, again, the key is to do some kind of little stretch, minimum 10 seconds, 20 is better, 30 is best. You're going to move better after this, feel better, prevent injury. Last one. Now we're going to unwind. So from here, we're going to go to the IT band. So we're going to take from the glutes, we're going to go to the outside edge and work down. So every once in a while, it's okay to roll the IT band. Sometimes in research, I've seen things where, it causes inflammation, but also once you get rolling on that, that helps the body heal it as long as you're not overdoing it. So we won't spend a ton of time. So I'm going to drop to my elbow, and I'm actually on my right side. place your elbow behind that roller. Use your feet to lift yourself up, and maybe put the roller right towards the top of your right thigh. You're on your right side. Top leg, left leg, bring it to the front. And again, it doesn't matter what side you start on, we're doing both. So you're going to slide your body down so the roller moves up your thigh towards the top, almost to that hip bone. You can go way up if you'd like, and then start to move your body up your mat so the roller moves down your thigh. Use your top foot on the floor for guidance. That top left knee and foot is bent and foot on the floor. Roll gently and slowly down towards your knee. We don't go over the knee, and then slowly roll back up. Slow and controlled here. You're breathing. You might have to slide your elbow closer to you as you work your way up and down that leg. We're going to go 4 times. That was up and down once. Maybe twice is plenty for you. Just do twice if this is extremely painful. And we're at 2. We have 2 more to go. And there's no set amount that you need to roll. And down. We have 1 more to go. And back up. And then you can use your hands to walk yourself all the way up. And we're just going to switch sides. So you can just turn over onto your roller. Other side, drop onto your elbow. I'm on my left elbow. My left leg is going to go straight out as I'm leaning. That roller is on the outside edge of my left leg. The top right foot is in front. Knee is bent, foot is flat. Start by going to the top of the hip. You have to kind of scoot your body, scoot your foot forward towards the roller, elbow back away from it as you slide up and go along the IT band. Down towards that knee, and then all the way back up. And that's 1, and we're going to do 3 of them. And then we come back down, 2. And again, take less pressure off, 3. Last 1. And 4. And then we're going to slide off the back. And go ahead and come to tabletop. If you have wrist issues and you would like to put your hands on the roller, that is totally fine, or even your forearms. You're going to extend your left leg straight behind you. Level out those shoulders, and then take your left leg and lift it up, and then bring it all the way across your right foot. So bring it to the right side of the body, push the ball of your foot into the floor, straighten out that left leg. Now start to tilt or drop your hips towards the left as you turn with your upper body and look over your right shoulder towards that left foot. And you might feel a stretch through the glute, the hip. Straighten out that leg, and then you're going to untuck the toe, push the top of the foot into the floor, continue to twist and turn. Same direction. So it's all attached. We need to get it all lengthened. And then they're slowly going to transition back to tabletop. And now you're going to do the opposite side. We'll pull the shoulders away from the ears, extend the right leg back, engage the core, lift the right foot off the floor, and then start to draw it over the left leg. Place the ball of the foot on the floor on the left side. Drop both hips to your right, and then look behind you to over your left shoulder. Just feel that nice hip stretch. You might feel a glute stretch, again, depending on where you are tighter. We're going to untuck that toe, place the top of the foot on the floor, continue to twist and look. And then slowly rotate the upper body back to center and bring both knees back into tabletop. So from here, we're going to go straight into quads because it's one convenient. So you're going to maybe back up. You're going to bring your roller right above your knees, and you're going to drop to your elbows. see if you can bring your feet about hip distance apart. If you need to push the toes into the floor, it's a nice little bit of a core exercise here as well. See if you can relax your feet now. Even if they're hitting the floor, that's okay. Just completely relax them. And now draw your body forward and back about an inch. So you're just gently massaging the front of those quads right above the knee. We don't hit the knee, the kneecap. Then you're going to walk your elbows back an inch and roll forward and back. We are going to tie in the IT band and the quad a bit. There's a fine line between when you're hitting the outer edge of that quad and then into that TFL. Right now we're just getting the front of the quads, but we're going to get into that area that tends to get a little tight and can cause us issues. Ugh. And then forward and back. Again, keep walking those elbows back nice and slow. So the forward and back rolling again is up to you, maybe 4 times, 6 times, more if you'd like. And then walk the elbows back. Again, just sliding that roller slowly up those thighs. And everybody has different leg lengths, so once you get there to the top, we will be taking a little mini break to stretch those quads over the knees before we get into the upper quad deeper. So then you're going to slide off the back. If you're still working your way up the thighs, that's fine. Go for it. Knees apart, feet together. Slide your hips to your heels, hands on the rollers. So you can roll that roller forward, draw the head between the arms, and just feel that nice stretch through the armpits, through the back, maybe over the knees. And then find your breath. One more breath. And then we'll come back up. So the nice thing is the more you roll, the less it hurts. The more you roll, the less the toll. Got that one from someone the other day. That was a good one. So we're coming back to the quads. We're going to go to the elbows. Now this time, you're going to walk your feet all the way together. The roller's right above those knees. You're going to tilt your body slightly to the left, and I want you to take your right ankle and cross it over your left ankle. So you're going to feel that right on the front outside edge of your left, and maybe a little on the inside front edge of the right. Gently move your body. Again, try to relax your leg. It might be a little more intense. We're moving forward and back about an inch, about 4 times. And then you walk your elbows backwards, and again, forward and back an inch. So I'm going to slide up. So you're getting right along this edge. So there's a, right there, it can get tight. Your IT band here, front of the quad. You can kind of mess around right in there to feel what you have going on. If it's too intense to cross the ankle, you can always take the foot off and use it for like a little kickstand to give yourself a little support so you're not putting as much pressure on that outside edge. And your bonus, you're getting a little on the inside front edge of the front of that quad, but not the inner thigh yet. We'll get to the inner thigh later. Little higher, keep moving forward and back, keep walking the elbows back. Are you feeling it? When we get up, maybe right down by the knee, you might have felt it, and then as you get higher up into the deep, larger muscles of the quads, might be finding some trigger points there. Just go as high as you can comfortably. And then once you're there, you can uncross the feet. And I want you to just gently walk your elbows forward and drag that roller back down to the top of the knees. So we can resume and restart over. So draw the feet together. Tilt your body slightly to the right. Cross your left ankle over the right. And then move your body slowly forward and back. And again, this might be a little different on the right side, might be a little more intense, maybe less. About 4 times, and then walk the elbows back. About an inch. Keep slowly moving yourself backwards as that roller moves up the thighs. And maybe only a couple little rolls is plenty to roll over that tissue if it's super sensitive. Your hydration level will also affect this. If you're a little dehydrated, it might have a little more, you might have a little more sensation as far as it being tough to roll. Keep walking those elbows back. Just notice what you have going on. Getting way high up into that upper quad area. Make adjustments, use those arms as needed. And then once you're up at the top and you can't go any higher, we're gonna slide off of that roller. And go ahead and bring the roller to the side. And we're gonna lay onto our bellies all the way down because we wanna get a little deeper stretch into those quads. You're gonna reach back with either arm. You're gonna grab hold of one of your feet. So I'm holding my right hand, right glute, or right foot, and pulling my heel to the glute. And just breathe here. Maybe draw your knees closer together. If you can't reach your foot, feel free to use a belt, a yoga strap, maybe a towel. Another breath. You can always lay on your side and bring the foot behind you if you need to, if you can't reach it. And then we're going to release that foot, and let's try the other side. So bring your other hand under the chin, bend your other knee, and reach back and grab hold. We're going to pull the heel to the glute. And just notice the difference here. One side might be very different than the other. Add one more breath. And then go ahead and release that foot. Use your hands to press yourself all the way up. We're going to do a child's pose just to give our back a little stretch here. Knees apart, feet together, and then just walk the hands forward. Use your palms to press your hips backwards and melting into your child's pose. And then slowly coming up, nice and slow. Now we're going to continue on working different areas of the legs. So we got the quads and the outside of the legs. Now we're going to do inner thigh. So for inner thigh, let's start by bringing the roller. It's going to be on the side of you laying on your belly. I'm going to start on my left. All right, so I'm laying on my belly on the left side, and then I'm rolling slightly to my right side. And then I'm going to bring my left knee on top of that roller. But the knee is just a little bit past the roller, so it's actually on the inner thigh. So if you want to be on your right side a little bit, you can also be on the belly. Your knee, hip is about almost 90 degrees. Let your head rest in your arm. And then you're going to straighten and bend that left leg. And just try to relax here as you straighten and bend. One more. And then you're going to roll that roller up just a tiny bit up the thigh, about an inch, and then straighten and bend again. So many muscles, so little time. We got to work through all the different leg muscles and the tissue. Now we're going to move up the thigh a little more, straighten and bend. Just notice what you have going on. If there's any tension or any knots, move that roller up again. Straighten and bend. Sometimes when that inner thigh muscle gets tight and the tissue gets just knotted up, it can pull our hips out of alignment. It can also affect our knees. And a little closer, going up as comfortably as high as you can on that inner thigh. Now, once you've gone the distance, you're going to bring the roller to the middle of your inner thigh. All right, so it's the same thing. Your knee is bent. The roller's right between the knee and the hip on that inner thigh. You're going to straighten out that left leg and roll back onto your side so the roller moves down towards your knee, and then roll toward your belly so the roller moves up the thigh. So you're just rolling side to side so the roller travels along that inner thigh. One more. And then you're going to slowly release. And we're just going to switch sides. Okay, so from the right side, you're going to make sure that roller's down between around the hip area. And again, you can drop to your left side or your belly. Bring that right knee right on top of the roller, but then past that knee, bring it past the roller slightly. So the inner thigh is on that roller, and then straighten and bend. And just notice the difference on this side. Maybe you have some knee issues going on, and maybe you're feeling this. Maybe the other side was more challenging. Everybody's a little different. And then you're going to roll forward or just bring that roller up the inner thigh, straighten and bend again. And then bring that roller up a little more, straighten and bend. You might find different spots that you aren't expecting on that inner thigh, that maybe some knots that need to get massaged out, and then a little higher. And then a little higher. So if you're on your belly, you might be putting a little more pressure on the inner thigh. If you're on your side, you have a little more control on how much pressure you put on that inner thigh. Once you've worked your way up that thigh to where you're comfortable and you want to roll the whole thing, bring the roller right in the middle between the knee and the hip, straighten the leg, and you can roll towards the hip and then all the way towards the knee, sliding forward and side to side or forward and back. Rolling from the belly to the side, getting that inner thigh. One more, and then we're going to release. Now we're going to come back up to our tabletop and bring the roller across the mat. So you're going to bring that roller across, bring your hands on top of the roller. Actually, I'm going to turn this way so you can see. Let's start out by taking our left foot directly out to the side. So you're on top of that roller, relax your foot. Now we're going to pause and hold here and stretch out that inner thigh. Slightly shift your hips backwards towards your heel and just feel that inner thigh stretch. And then maybe pull the toe up. Feel a little extra stretch there. And then bring the toe back towards the floor. And then slowly bring that knee in. And let's try the other side. So bring your right foot out to the side. Hip slightly hinges backwards towards your heel. The toe can be tucked or untucked. Shoulders relaxed, and then pull that toe up. Push it back down. Feel that inner thigh stretch. And then slowly release. Good. The roller's still across. You go ahead and have a seat. We're going to do one more quick inner thigh stretch, just because we did the IT, just all the different areas that we've done. Bring the bottoms of the feet together. Find your butterfly. Holding onto the toes or the ankles, lengthen through the spine, and then just bring those knees gently up and down. And relax your shoulders, and then gently feel the knees pushing down. If you would like to hold the ankles and push into the thighs as well, leaning a little into it, you can. A little extra stretch, and then lifting up nice and tall. We're going to hug the knees into the chest, and then you're going to straighten out the legs onto the roller. So we're going to move into calf muscles. So we're going to finish up getting into the lower legs, and then we will finish at the very end hamstrings. So for lower leg area, calf, we're going to, let's just start on the right. Cross your left ankle over the right ankle, and make sure that you're close enough that you can bend and straighten the knee, and the roller will go and not quite hit the heel. It gets close to the Achilles tendon and to the meaty part of the calf. So we're getting that lower part of that calf as you bend and straighten. Let's add some ankle rotations as we bend and straighten. That helps get the knots out or find any of those trigger points. Change direction, and then we're going to turn the leg open out to the right side. Little bend and straighten with some ankle rotations, rotating the ankle both directions, and then inside, turn it into the left, rotating it. So this is just to find those spots. If you find a spot, you can always go back to it. And then back to the middle, and then now we're going to pull that roller up so it's right in the middle of the meaty part of the calf. So again, if you're bending and straightening, you're not hitting behind the knee at all, but you're getting pretty close. And then we add some rotations of the ankle. If your wrists are getting tired, feel free to drop to your elbows, or you can lay all the way on your back. And you can also use yoga blocks to help support. You can even put yoga blocks down and put your elbows on the blocks. And then turn your foot to the right, a little gentle bend and straighten with the ankle rotation. If it's too painful, or you have knots, or you have plantar fasciitis, and this is pretty intense, feel free to take off that left leg. You do not have to have it crossed. I just do that for a little extra pressure because it feels really good to me. And if it doesn't feel good to you, then don't do that. Turn that leg in towards the left, get the inside edge. So just like the quads, we had to get the different areas of the quads as we rolled. Same thing with the calf. And then we are done. We're going to bring that roller down, go to the left calf. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left. And again, bending and straightening that left knee, add a rotation as it covers the lower half of that left leg. Then you're going to turn your leg open to the left, get the outside edge. And it doesn't matter if you go inside or outside first, just as long as you get both areas. And then you turn the leg in, rotate the ankle, both directions, and then back to center. And then you're going to pull that roller up a little higher, so now it's in the meaty part of the calf, the gastrocnemius. And you're going to bend and straighten and add a little ankle rotation. So we're foam rolling all the different areas of the lower leg, and we are stretching each area as well. So it just helps us get a little bit more mobility of our joints. Helps prevent injury. Turn that leg to the left, rotate that ankle, and then to the right, getting on the inside edge. Anybody find any spots? And then back to center. So we're going to release the legs, come back to tabletop, roller in front. So we want to stretch out the calf muscles. And again, you can hold on to the roller, you can have your forearms on it, or you can have your hands on the floor. So a couple options. One is to press I'm just starting left toe, right toe, doesn't matter, back into the mat, straighten out the legs, stretch that calf. You can do one at a time. Some of you might want to go to a full plank, really stretching through the calf. You can do a little shift through the toes. Another option is you can lift your hips and just pedal out your feet slightly, like a downward dog. Just really feel that stretch through the calf, all the way down into the ankles. Maybe rotate and roll through the toes. And then try stretching one at a time, like plant that right heel. Option to bring the left foot over the right ankle. One more breath. And then we're going to switch sides, stretching the other calf. And again, you can rotate through the hips if you'd like, a little movement down into there. And just notice the difference. One side might be way tighter than the other. And then uncross the foot and then bring both knees back to the floor. So if you were in the full plank or even just one knee out, leg out for extended, bring them both to the floor. Now we're going to move into shins. So the front of the leg, I know how much everyone loves the shins, right? We want to prevent those shin splints. Right knee up. Option to drop your right hip to the roller, and you can just roll along the outside edge of that front shin. Okay, we don't want to get onto the bone. If you can hold yourself up, you can do a one leg or even cross your ankles and then rotate that ankle as you slide that roller up towards the knee and then back towards your ankle. Using your core, using your body, just massaging it out. One more roll. And then we'll release. And we're just going to shift sides. So you would place the middle of your left calf, sorry, shin, not calf, we already did those, on the roller. Drop to your left hip. And you can even use the right leg behind you to roll that shin. That's one option. Option two is to be on the roller just with one leg, other leg extended on the floor for a kickstand to help you, or stack those legs. And then rotate the ankle. As you slide that roller up and down the thighs. One more. Anybody find some spots? And then when we are done, we're actually going to bring the knees in front of the roller onto the floor. I want you to bring the very tops of your toes, not the tops of your feet, but the tops of your toes on the roller. Separate your knees and then just start to hinge backwards. So you're really stretching through the shins and the ankles. If it's too intense, you can always keep your hands in front, leaning forward. But you really want to stretch out those shins. So we're going to be moving on to hamstrings next, so the back of the thighs. This is where you might want yoga blocks. So I'm going to demonstrate a couple ways that you can use yoga blocks to get into those hamstrings. So go ahead and release the roller. You can tuck your toes, just sit them back onto the floor. So you're stretching out the Achilles tendon, which is on the back of that heel. All right, so for hamstring, last but not least, you're going to have your yoga blocks behind you, and they can be any height. You can have a low, medium, high, whatever works for you. And you would use the yoga blocks behind you, sit up on your roller. And again, if you have really long arms, you might not need your yoga blocks. You're going to bring the legs out in front of you. So we're on our glutes. I want you to slide backwards towards your yoga blocks so the roller goes right where the hamstring, the leg, and the butt cheek meet. We're going to start on our right leg. So what you're going to do is you're going to lift your left knee. You're going to bend the knee. So I'll give you some options here. You're going to cross your left ankle over the right thigh above the knee. So it's going to add a little pressure. And if you can, use those blocks to push you up. If your hands are on the floor, that works too, either way. And then you're going to rock your body side to side. So you're moving across that right hamstring. And then you're going to slide. You can even use the block, slide your body backwards a little, and continue to rock. So trying to put more pressure on that hamstring if it's comfortable. And then slide back a little more and rock and roll side to side. And then walk the hips back further so you're getting a little closer to those blocks, rocking it side to side. You can also glide your body forward and back along the back of the hamstring. You can even turn the leg open, like bring that left knee over, tilt your whole body slightly to the right, and then you can even tilt it to the left and get a little bit of that inside of that hamstring. And just try to get as close to the knee as you can, but not right behind it. And then you're going to release that left leg. So we're not spending a ton of time on the hamstring. You can use a tennis ball to get there deeper, but that's another video. So lean into the left. You're going to bring the right ankle over the left thigh, and then gently just start to rock. So you're way up where the left, we're just on the other leg now. So where the left leg and the butt cheek meet, and rock it. And again, you can have your yoga blocks at whatever height you want, and you can even be on the floor with your hands. I feel like I get a little more leverage with the yoga blocks. And then slide yourself backwards and keep rocking and rolling side to side. And just notice the difference from this hamstring, where you might be feeling it compared to the other. And then a little bit further back. And working your way down that hamstring. You can let your heel rest on the floor. You can lift it off. Again, everybody's a little different on what feels good to you. You can turn your leg slightly to the left and roll. You can turn it in to the right, get a little on the inside. You can stay to the middle, roll up and down. Play around with what feels good to you. Maybe you found a spot and you want to melt into it and just hold on to it. Almost there. And then we're going to uncross that right leg. Go ahead and lower your hips behind your roller. And then you're going to bring the roller out and back down towards your heels, all the way down there. So you're going to take your left leg and we're just going to squeeze it into the chest, sit up nice and tall. You're keeping your right foot just up there on that roller, maybe right around the ankle. Then you're going to take your left ankle and I want you to slide it under your right knee, right underneath there. And then lengthen through the spine. And then you're going to use your hands, place them on your thigh or your shin, and you're just going to start to do a gentle lean forward. And we don't want to collapse into it. We want to stay nice and tall through the spine. So you're rotating through your hips as you feel the belly button being pulled forward. Now when you get there, we're getting into the hamstring, maybe a little calf. Try to pull your right toes up and then add a circle of that whole right ankle. Maybe you can reach your roller as you rotate that ankle, and then change direction. So we're getting into a little of that calf and the hamstring. Maybe if you reach your roller, you can get a little into the upper back. Again, staying tall, looking forward at your foot. It's all connected. And then walk both hands, keeping your left knee down. Walk both hands slightly to your left on the roller. You might be getting a little bit of a low back stretch in the right side of the back towards that QL. And another breath. And then we're going to walk both hands to the opposite side of the roller towards the right, keeping that left knee down. Again, now you're on the opposite side, so you might be getting a little low back stretch on that left side. And never overstretch it, just feel what's going on. Find your breath, one more breath. This is really good for low back stretching. And then we're going to bring the hands both to center and just notice the difference. Flex that right foot. Pull the toes up. Even if you can't reach them, that's okay. Just go as far forward as you can, but stay tall through the spine. Remember, we're not collapsing in. And then we're going to walk the hands back, sitting up nice and tall. Pull that left knee out, and we're going to extend it. Place the foot on the roller, and then you're going to pull that right knee into the chest. Give it a squeeze, sit up tall, check in with the posture. From here, we're going to take our right ankle and we're going to send it underneath that left knee. So it's not down here by the hamstring, but it's up here by the knee. And you're still going to stay nice and tall. Think about your spine, your posture. hands on the thighs or the shins, start to walk yourself forward. One side might be very different than the other. Reaching maybe for the roller, maybe you have your hands on the floor, that's fine. We're going to rotate that left ankle. And just find your breath. Continue breathing. So stretching through the whole back side of the body is really great, and also the front. We already did those hip flexors, laying on the belly, pulling the knee, bending the knee and pulling the foot to the glute. Now from here, you're slowly going to walk both hands to your right. So you're going to feel a little bit of a stretch, maybe the hamstrings, maybe the hips, maybe that low back on that left side. Keeping that right knee down, still lengthening through the spine even if you're leaning into it. So you're not collapsing. I don't want to see any, let's try not to collapse through that upper body. We want to lengthen and keep that chest open. One more breath. And then you're going to lift up a little higher, walk your hands all the way across the roller to the left side. Keeping that right knee down, and notice the difference. Opposite side. Now that right hip is stretching, maybe the back, depending on what you have going on. Finding your breath. And then slowly coming back to center. See if you can reach a little further. Maybe your toes come up. Maybe you have to bend your knees for it. That's okay. Just notice the hamstring, calf, what's tighter on you. Everybody's a little different. And then we're going to walk the hands up the thigh. Nice and slow. Bring the bottoms of your feet together. Use those yoga blocks. Holding on to the outside edge of your, holding on to the ankles, the outside edges, and then just let those knees go up and down, lengthening through the spine. One more breath. And then you're going to take your left foot and you're going to pull it underneath, place towards your right knee, and then place your right foot in front. So crisscrossing those legs in an easy seat. Lengthen through the spine. Let's reach the arms up and let's take a twist to the right. And just lengthen through that spine again. And even though we just did the legs, you might be able to twist a little easier because it's all connected up into those hips. And then inhale to the sky, exhale to the opposite side, lengthening through the spine. And then inhale back up to center. Exhale the arms out to the side. Go ahead and put your roller back out of the way. And if you want to turn longwise on your mat, we are going to do one more stretch. I want to bring a little extra into that inner thigh. So extend your right leg out to the side, hug your left knee in, and again, just sitting tall and start to lean forward. But don't go off your sits bones. You want to keep them there. We're not collapsing. We want to just lean forward. Maybe bring your hands to the floor. So just check in with that inner thigh of that right leg. And then we're going to come up nice and tall. You're going to take that same leg, that right leg, lean over to your left hip, pull that knee behind you and the foot. So we want to do a little extra stretch, getting into that hip flexor. And so you're going to lean onto your left hand behind you, push your right hip forward. You can have your hand on your hip if you'd like. Maybe you lift up off of your hips completely and really stretch through that hip flexor. Another option is to reach your right arm overhead. So you lengthen through the whole body. One more breath, and then release. All the way down. Go ahead and release that right leg. Bring it back in front. Come back to our crisscrossed legs. And then just take the left leg out, extend it to the side, hug your right foot in towards your body. Lengthening. Both sits bones on the floor and walk the hands just slightly forward, staying tall. I just want you to feel what's going on. Some of you might be able to lean more forward if your inner thighs are, one side might be looser than the other, but keep the glutes, everything is attached, touching the floor. And just breathe into it. Make adjustments. Maybe you're leaning a little to the right, so you're not feeling it as much. Straighten up. Maybe hinge a little bit to the left as you lean forward. Then you might get into that inner thigh muscle just a little bit more. One more breath, and then we'll come back up. Now you're going to lean onto the right side. Pull that left foot behind you, if that's comfortable to you. Nice and tight as much as you can. Your foot can be out at an angle, or you can have the top of your left foot on the floor. Right hand behind you, left hand on the hip. Start to push your hip forward. Maybe that's plenty for you. Maybe you can lift your hip so you're stretching through that hip flexor. Option to reach the arm overhead. And you're breathing. Feel the lengthening. One more breath. And then sweep it all the way back down. And then bring now bring the left foot in front of the right. Crisscrossing those legs. Find your posture. Notice what's going on in the hips and the legs. Chin in alignment, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Take a deep breath. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, palms to heart space. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.